Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. This week for proteins, we've got chicken thighs, we've got ground turkey, we've got eggs, we've got chicken breast. So I'm going to show you exactly how I use those 4 proteins to make 5 repeatable breakfasts, 5 repeatable lunches. We've got 4 very different dinners for the week. Kind of got like an Italian cozy vibe going this week. It snowed here this weekend, so hence the coziness. But if you're new here, my name is Michelle. I'm a working parent of 2 littles. I have a husband and a dog and, the whole thing. So I try and minimize the chaos in the kitchen because that's mainly what I feel like I can control. And so I go for more of like an ingredient prep on Sundays, which allows us to do these like meals, different dinners Monday through Thursday. In under 15 minutes, we get a different meal, different dinner on the table. Healthy, high protein, tasty. I'll show you exactly what I prepped and why I prep it. And then I have a weekly menu, prep list, and ingredient list linked in the description below. If you're interested in following along and kind of seeing how I do it, it allows you to save money too because I have exactly the ingredients you need and you won't waste any food. So if you're interested, that is linked in the description below completely for free. But without further ado, I will show you exactly how I got this done. And yeah, let's get to cooking. I did want to note that I got a couple of comments in last week's video where people were like, wait, I want to see like how these dinners came together. Completely understand that. The way I'm going to be structuring my videos this year so far are doing a like prep video. So exactly what I prepped on Sunday, and then a like weeknight video. So I will show you how I actually put these ingredients together on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to create those 4 very different dinners. So that will be the following week because I actually have to like live the week and show you because this is real life. And yeah, I'm going to show you exactly how I get it done with 2 kiddos like at my feet and everyone's hungry and tired and stressed and the whole thing. So without further ado, let me show you how I get it done. And thanks for watching, and yeah, let's get cooking. For this week's breakfast, we've got spinach egg bites, which are high protein, easy and grab and go. For lunch, we've got some salsa chicken bowls that I'll also repeat Monday through Friday. And then for dinners, we're going to use ground turkey and chicken thighs that become loaded taco plates, an Italian chicken Orzo skillet, creamy garlic chicken, and lasagna soup. Same proteins, completely different meals. Let's start with proteins because that's what takes the longest during the week. First up is ground turkey. I keep this super basic and just season it with garlic salt while it cooks. That's it. This turkey is going to become 2 totally different meals later. We've got loaded taco plates and lasagna soup. So I don't want to lock into one flavor right now. I'll layer that in later. Next are the chicken thighs. Again, keeping it really simple, I bake them with Italian seasoning, onion powder, and garlic salt. Nothing complicated. These will be used for the Italian chicken Orzo skillet and the creamy garlic chicken. Same protein, just 2 different directions. So I'm just building a neutral, flavorful base. Now for lunches, this one is basically effortless. I throw chicken breast into a crock pot with a full jar of salsa, whatever kind you like. Then I sliced up some onion and bell pepper and just mix that in. It cooks until the chicken's done and the veggies are softened, and honestly, it pretty much just shreds itself. And that becomes my salsa chicken for lunch bowls all week. When it's time to eat, I'll just assemble it with some rice, lettuce, the chicken, avocado, Greek yogurt, that type of thing. And that's the goal here. Just cook the parts that take time once so that during the week we're just assembling and not starting from scratch. Next up is carbs, and this week I'm keeping it really simple with gold potatoes and orzo pasta. For the potatoes, I just chop up gold potatoes. I toss them on a parchment-lined baking sheet with avocado oil and some garlic salt, and then just roast them. That's it. These will be used for the creamy garlic chicken and the loaded taco plates, and I can always just adjust the flavor later when I assemble the meal. Then the orzo is really as basic as it gets. I just cook it according to the package and store it plain. This will go into the Italian chicken orzo skillet and the lasagna soup later in the week. So again, I'm not adding anything to it now. I'll build the flavor in each dish when it's time to eat. Simple base now, different directions later. Next up is the layer prep, and this is where we start building flavor, but in a strategic way. First up is going to be the base for the lasagna soup. So I saute some chopped onion and garlic in a pot, and then I added some tomato paste. Here's a hack. Take your tomato paste, which usually comes in like a small can or jar, and you typically don't use a lot of tomato paste in one recipe, so I've learned to take like a tablespoon and wrap in parchment paper and freeze it. That way it doesn't go bad. And so that's what I did here, is just like take one from my freezer, and I loved it. Just ends up kind of melting into the sauce. Then you're going to take a good marinara sauce if you don't have a homemade one on hand. I like something like Rayo's. I really like their sauce. And then you're only going to use half the jar here because the other half is actually going to be used for the Italian chicken skillet later, which I'll show you. Then I add chicken stock and about half of the cooked ground turkey that I had made earlier. And so now we have this full soup base ready to go. When it's time to make the lasagna soup later in the week, I just reheat this. I add some spinach, add the orzo, and then finish it off with some ricotta cheese. And it's basically done. So this is what saves the most time because I'm not doing this on like a Monday night. And then you have this delicious creamy lasagna soup ready for a weeknight dinner. Next is the creamy marinara for that Italian chicken orzo skillet, which I take the other half of that marinara, I blend it with cottage cheese to make a high protein creamy sauce. Gets super smooth, adds protein without needing heavier cream, which I love. I use the same pot that I made the lasagna soup base in, and I sauteed more onion and garlic and just stirred that into the sauce for extra flavor. And this worked out perfectly because I just used the empty marinara jar to store the sauce, which I love, less cleanup. Then you have a soup base ready to go and a creamy marinara sauce ready for the orzo skillet. Same jar of sauce, different outcomes, which I love. Next up is breakfast prep. I start by chopping some spinach up, and this is another example of just using ingredients across multiple meals. Some of the spinach will actually go into the lasagna soup and the Italian chicken skillet later in the week, so I'm not just prepping it for breakfast. We're really about maximizing ingredients here, which is what I try to do as my strategy when I'm creating my weekly menus, which are completely free to you if you want to download them. So I kind of take the legwork out of that for you. But in the case you want to create your own weekly menus, that's the strategy that I try to use is, using the same ingredient across multiple meals so you're saving money and you're not wasting food. So for the egg bites, I keep it simple. You can really customize these however you'd like, but I just essentially keep the base the same. I blend together eggs, egg whites, cottage cheese, and a little bit of salt until smooth. And cottage cheese is really what makes them fluffy and then bumps up the protein, of course. So you pour those into a silicone muffin tin, which makes them really easy to remove, and layer in some of that chopped spinach and a little bit of shredded cheese on top. You bake until set, and that's it. They come out so fluffy, they reheat really well, and it gives me a high protein breakfast that's ready to grab during the week. Again, we're just doing the work once, so mornings feel a lot easier around here. As always, you can use the link in the description below to download the free meal plan and menus from past videos as well. But thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next week.